guys, Cat Demon 43 and back with another episode of The Letter. Last episode we finished Marianne's story and it had an interesting ending. Yeah. Anyway, to start things off, I know that we are beginning Rebecca's story. We finally got some answers on about the letter, which I was right, first and foremost, of the fact that the Send to 5 People or Else was completely made by kids who had gone to St. Goretti, the same school where Rebecca teaches. So I'm wondering if we're going to get any kind of confirmation that these students are either missing or deceased or something like that. And yeah, so let's get started. Alright, so Rebecca. Birthday, April 1st, same month as me. Aries, 29 years old. Height, 5'5". Occupation, history teacher. Nationality, Scottish. Religion, atheist. Raised, Keurig. I have no idea what that is. I'll have to look into that. Education, master's degree in education, major in European history. Likes stovies, reading in the library, going to the gym, cycling, and jogging, lacrosse, and lesson plans. Although of Scottish descent, she grew up in Luxmore and even went to school in St. Goretti. Her parents were professors of European history and Southeast Asian history at Luxmore University. They were often busy, and that forced Rebecca to be independent early on. Surrounded by books and instilled with the love of learning, she was a star pupil and was often called a teacher's pet for it. Jerks. Her passion for academics, leading to a career in the industry, was to be expected of her. She came out of her shell in high school years and started becoming the Spitfire she is now. Before then, Ashton was her only friend, though she found him aggravating at first. Independent and used to taking care of others, it's no surprise that she helped out the young foreigner who moved in next door. So, yeah, it's I'm not really all that surprised that she had gone to St. Goretti and ended up, I guess, teaching there. Maybe we'll get some backstory about what her life was like being a student at this school. This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughters, and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, the light kiss of the afternoon sun. And the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon, there will be a call. A crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery? It's like fourth wall breaking of this game. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They are all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Oh, don't say that. Anyone can be a writer. You kidding? Fleeting fancies. That's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well,
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
I like her portraits. I don't know, it's always interesting to see almost kind of like a different style to the smaller portraits in comparison to like the full body animations that we get in this story. Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved in next door. And even her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything. I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony as long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother Hen, she calls me, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I'm to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute, then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all, that big numpty. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part, loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass another burden onto her.
Or become one myself.
Oh. Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from, once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips. That's interesting, usually it's the forehead. When the screen lights up, and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, once I do accept the call, is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper, Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided are, admittedly, a bit vague, but enough for me to get the gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with the words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough, regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? Probably likely. Probably very, very likely. High. Very high. Oh, she is so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
The faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'd expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxbourne outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of the city? I can think of a few people. But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. They can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams, off. Well, you got good intuition. Wrong. Yeah. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. I don't think a lot of people would hope to step into something like this. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from the rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk, and sure as I march to Eddard's Hall's exit, the sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this nagging feeling. I hate that. When, like, the worry you have for someone just grows and grows and grows. Oh, it's really uncomfortable. And you kind of don't really know, like, your mind plays the 50 questions game on, like, oh, what if this happened, or this and this and this, and your mind starts going into full overdrive with your imagination on what could have potentially happened to, like, a friend, a family member, and you can't really get clarification until you see that person. I've dealt with that. It is not fun, and all the stress. For one reason or another, the single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather be this over with as quickly as possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. Hey, Kylie! When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. I think some dialogue is missing. Miss Pink, oh my god.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Yeah, we're missing some dialogue. Huh? She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
Considering how small you are.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today, if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going... She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise.
Okay, that's funny.
She said it's for Tia Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal.
Oh dear.
Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
That doesn't sound good to me. I got all the warning flags. I'm not even a parent and I have all the warning flags. Please don't let it be something overly dangerous. Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Suarez kids... Wait. Suarez. Oh, right. Okay, at the end of Marianne's story, we got locked into that cell. And there were those kids with the same uniform that Kylie has on. They're from St. Goretti. And in the video, in the recording that they had made, you know, before horribly dying, they were mentioning about taking the letter that they had found and tampered with, because they were the ones who tampered with it, the help me, help me, help me, and then adding the send to 5 people or else. And they were talking about putting it in the bag of someone named Suarez. That must be Rowan. So is he getting bullied? But if both Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. I wonder if you ever see her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have the occasional odd streak, in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them. In and out of class. Is he really being bullied? He probably is. I don't like that.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
Exactly.
It's not! Cross my heart!
Okay.
My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really.
She just wants to hang out.
I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Okay.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Her face falls immediately, after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for the crestfallen look, but as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be right now. And frankly, another child to look after. Hey! Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class?
Hold on.
I'll even make sure to wait for you.
This is Friday. Saturday, Sunday. Okay. So on the 22nd. Okay.
It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
Yeah, accident. She fell down the stairs!
What about her mama and papa?
In another country?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at the question. Just like that, I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
Who?
Takako? I think that might be the correct way to say it.
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast.
Japan? China? Korea? Why am I blanking? Oh, Taiwan. Here we go. Taiwan? I don't know.
But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore.
Wait. Is this the ghost? Are you talking to the ghost?
Melody says it's weird I talk to her, but I think she's just shot.
Oh boy, please let me be wrong. I don't want to be right.
They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
Maybe if she also stops killing people.
Is your friend like that too?
She's not dead. That's for sure.
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. Not when ghosts are involved. 5 years and one will think it's enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter or even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Okay.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so.
Okay, maybe it's Tanako rather than Takako. Also, for some reason, how she's pronounced it just sounds like taco. Tacos!
A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
Bye!
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down,
Ah.
falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Flashbacks to Zach. Oh god. She doesn't look back or wait for any sort of goodbye from me. With a song and an extra spring in her steps, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. I wonder how old Kylie is. As if the conversation never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden. Untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same can be said for myself and my own worries. Rebecca Gales received a phone call from Rose Cooper after class, asking her to pick up Isabella Santos from the Ermengarde mansion. On her way out of school, an excited Kylie Suarez stops her favorite teacher from leaving. Oh, yeah, so cute. Look at them. So cute. Okay. Luxbourne may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. Ugh. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief, considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. I really doubt she'd be ignoring your calls. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out on the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty and creepy foreboding. Unlike Luxbourne, the estate and the nearby Anselm village stand as its complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, whispers of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad moderation hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself.
That's true.
If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up to the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house facade or various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of the familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
Nope, she long gone. She long gone with Ashton. No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I can't certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big? I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech-savvy, after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. At the 4th one, right as it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my tastes. Yeah. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and the eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than they're ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. Don't say that. I don't get to stray far into that ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Oh, shit.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. That wasn't her. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. Oh, shit. From beyond the foyer. Oh, God. Okay. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely, I can't be the only one here hearing this. There must still be some staff hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over to where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious, towards the door on the other side of the end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives into fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only leads itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then, with a caution, I reach for the knob. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me, ma'am?
Nope.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, it's...
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door, as if any second now the cries will start again, or whoever inside will burst out from the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I wave the mobile in front of her, like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her worried expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. Girl never listen.
Rose? Rosie?
Rosie? Really?
May I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. A smile still. Friendly even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing, to say the least. The level of professionalism. I suppose working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. It certainly didn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
All right, this won't be long, I promise.
She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over the small group gathered at the entrance. A couple or siblings? Another woman, probably their secretary. They are not siblings. They are not at all. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them primely dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while also attempting my best not to listen to their conversation. Although that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes through the walls with only the five of us here. Pretty soon, I find myself being drawn into their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time, then.
It's a brief moment. A fleeting shift in my eye.
Monday for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
Jeez Louise, her thing is huge.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this,
And in that instant, I turn my gaze on him. I see it.
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup.
What? The fact?
Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we?
I don't remember this on Marianne's side. I'll have to go back and check.
In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Oh my god. The dick is back. Okay. Looming. Hovering over his shoulders. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. I don't see anything. No. A shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Darling, your liver. You already had a glass today, and apparently a few days ago as well. How many times do we have to remind you? Doctor's orders, remember?
Everything's getting all faded. What?
Such a shame. You never let me do anything fun.
But as I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps up every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices and what little sound there is. All except for the whispers and laughters. Judging. Mocking. Taunting. Muffled, inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, binding, tightening, with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss. On, and on, and on, till the sounds turn into more distant echoes, until suddenly it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. When I look at them, again, it's gone.
Just a second, darling. Send my regards to Isabel, please. Poor girl. Please let her know she doesn't have to worry, and tell her to get some rest. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. I didn't see anything. Only emaciable smiles and cordial handshakes, the usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out of the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it. And even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently she closes the great doors behind her, but there's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. She even appears to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we're going to... Hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
That must be it. The weather, this stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabella's right. I was and still am a little feverish when she visited me at school this morning. The medicine helped, of course, but only some. Although it's not like I can't function. It did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like usual. Now I'm not sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I simply must have listened to too many times to Isabella last week. My fever-muddled mind has started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I'll just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise Zachary's film together. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. Okay. I think I'm gonna end that there. Here we go. While waiting at the mansion, Rebecca overheard a brief conversation between the Wright couple, their interior designer, and the estate agent Rose Cooper. It was discovered afterwards that Isabella had already left a few hours ago. Well, Rose looks nice. Yeah, I think, guys, I'm gonna leave that there. Kind of a nice introduction to this, and I got questions. Oh boy. Well, guys, I hope you liked the first episode introduction to Rebecca's story, and yeah, the whole thing though with Kylie has me concerned. I mean, leave her alone, she's just a kid. But we're slowly gathering more information, and from what I can get, Rebecca seems to be very much on following her intuition when it comes to things that don't seem right, which is good, and I think in any case that's what should be done. But well, especially in a horror situation, I mean, come on, when you feel something is wrong, you really should just get out of there, just leave. Listen to your intuition. 90% of the time your intuition is rarely ever wrong. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked this episode, and I hope that you will let me know what your thoughts, your feelings about this and stuff so far. And I also hope you guys have a wonderful night, day, week, whenever, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys!